Is Pennsylvania doing enough to protect children from physical and sexual abuse? That question was studied by a task force formed following the high-profile abuse cases involving Jerry Sandusky. They presented a report of their recommendations at a joint meeting of the House Children and Youth and Judiciary Committees.
They gave us a real blueprint of where they think we should make changes, legislative changes, and where we should be going, and how they kept talking about breaking down those walls that exist currently where this group that cares about the child can't talk to this group. And so we are going to be working on that.
There are a lot of groups working to protect our children, including law enforcement, school employees, and doctors. Unfortunately, they haven't always effectively worked together.
We do need that coordination, and some of the laws that we were looking at today are going to make it so that physicians can speak with the Department of Public Welfare, speak with children and youth, and that they can trade information back and forth, because these abused children are coming to the doctors and even the school system. We have no coordination between all of those resources. So we're going to try to meld the law in a way that's going to allow a lot of integration with those resources.
The task force reported that the legal definition of child abuse in Pennsylvania is very narrow and also differs between criminal and civil law. Updating this is a top priority.
My bill would substantially increase the definition of child abuse. Right now we have a very, very low threshold in Pennsylvania, or a low protective net. It's hard to get a finding of child abuse. For instance, the failure to feed your child is not child abuse in Pennsylvania. That just seems odd to most people, especially children who aren't being fed. To be locked in a room for no reason doesn't constitute child abuse in Pennsylvania. These are the kinds of things we need to fix so that children are protected.
Following the task force findings, a number of bills have been introduced that seek to better protect our children.
We've been able to work with the Department of Education to create a curriculum within a curriculum, not a new mandate and not new demands on the school, but getting this very important awareness information to our children in classes from K to 8. So they will get it every year. By the time they are teenagers, they certainly will have heard enough at an age-appropriate manner so that they will better recognize and be able to prevent it before it happens in the first place. And finally, just completely remove that veil of secrecy that up to this point is what we've been dealing with. It's really the first in a line of very important bills coming out of the Task Force for Child Protection.
House members realize that changes to the law, while important and necessary, are not the only answer to solving the problem of child abuse.
Child protection is really the business of every adult citizen in Pennsylvania. And we need to learn more about it and how we can be protectors of our children too, and be involved and see to it that if someone is abusing a child or neglecting a child terribly, that that's reported.
If you have concerns that a child is being victimized, you can report it by calling the Childline Hotline at 1-800-932-0313.
It is the next generation is our greatest resource. We need to see to it that they are properly protected.